Welcome to Recouped the Podcast, where we uncover the depths of sustainability and its impact on the world.
We're your hosts, Vicky
and Michelle.
And together we'll explore what it means to live more sustainably. Well, I don't know what I was going to say, but have you guys seen the video where this little girl, she's like, oh, LGBTQIA. The shamamale. Yeah. Anyways, I just thought that was cute since we were just talking. LGBTQIA.
Okay.
The alphabet
that makes more sense.
Alphabet Mafia. Have you heard it?
No.
Yep.
We are the alphabet.
We are the
Mafia.
alphabet Mafia. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't mess with the queer community. We will come at you.
But what if we're allies?
Can I make a recommendation?
Y'all are the best.
Okay.
Yeah. We love allies.
All the acronyms.
Yes.
If we can just have somebody professionally put them together so it does spell something.
LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
LGBTQIA. With a little...
Right. Because some of the letters will just be silent.
Yeah. Because what if you can mumble them all together and it turns out to be like a really cool word? And then everybody can jump on board.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So while we figure that out...
Yeah, you work on that one.
We're going to say...
Mark it today.
Today.
It's Pride Month.
We're talking to our LGBTQIA friends. And we just want to say, Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Did you hear those new voices? Everybody introduce yourselves. I'm pointing this way.
I'm Ashley Turner. I'm your Vice President of Everett Pride.
And my name is Bryce Leckie. I am the Communications Director and Secretary of Everett Pride.
And I'm Vicky, and I'm a friend of Everett Pride.
And a great ally.
We're allies.
Yes. And now
supporters. And sponsors.
This year's first sponsors.
Yay! So we're so excited to start off June with Pride Month.
And I'm Michelle.
Michelle, I'm sorry.
Michelle's
I'm
like,
sorry.
And
I didn't know what to do.
Pride here is our special guest.
Yes. So we're talking to Everett Pride. Everett Washington Pride. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to talk about some fun stuff today. Let's start with
our backstory. With Pride.
With Pride?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, with our Pride.
We were trying to figure that out today.
How did we come together?
Ashley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ashley Scraps.
Ashley Scraps.
She was at a friend's baby shower with me because we're friends outside of Pride. And she was talking to me about business and the bags and what they needed for the auction.
Yep.
And something else.
First
swag
bags.
And
first
she
auction.
was like, oh, your guys' swag bags. Or your bags would be cool.
Amazing.
I was like, yeah, we'll totally do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. And
that was it.
That's where
that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, and then
or tell us
those
more. We probably
sold
forgot.
in like 2 seconds.
But then also because at the time, I didn't realize that it was the first Everett Pride.
Yeah.
I was just
like,
that was
ever
cool.
one.
Yeah, we'll do it. We're new to markets, this and this and this. But then once we found out that it was the first, we're going to be part of this first Everett Pride. We're big in our community. We're like, okay, we're going to take it to the next level and do whatever we can to uplift
make it,
and help pave the way.
And like you were saying, we got so lucky they sold in 2 seconds.
Yeah, they sold 2 seconds, and then we came back, and you decided to put rainbow on every future bag for 2 events, and then those sold. I feel
they did.
Yeah,
they sold out, and then we had a few extra that we took to us somewhere else, and people loved those too. So we're like, oh,
they're super cute.
Yeah,
I'm excited for this year's round.
First Pride collection.
It was.
Recouped.
I know. So
and
when
now
we
we're on
see
our
customers,
second annual Pride collection.
And we're excited.
And it's even bigger.
And only at our event.
Yes. So make sure to come to the event.
I think we should talk about it. I mean,
let's talk about it first.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Everett Pride. Where, how, what, when. Tell us the daydream.
The daydream.
Ashley, literally.
Yeah. And how did you guys all meet?
She's the start.
I met Kevin through real estate. He was lending, I was doing real estate, so we worked together there business-wise, and then we just started kind of hanging out, and I had this idea with my wife. I said, hey, I think it'd be cool if there was a Pride locally. I don't really see anything on the map or anything, at least in Everett, and yes, I love going to Seattle Pride, but like, what a trek, and it's at the end of the month, so I was like, maybe something could happen. So I took Kevin to coffee, and we were like, can we make this happen? We started Googling, and we're trying to really search, see if Everett Pride existed. There was something before us, but pandemic and things like that kind of came to be, and somehow he trusted me, and we kind of
threw it together.
And so the 2 of us started it, and then we were able to get, I think we had 5 board members last year that all came together, and we just started fundraising, and
including
we're faking it till we make it.
You guys made it, though.
We made it.
And 3,000
it was a huge
people.
success.
Yeah.
That was just like us counting.
And last year, I think we had about 40 vendors and 12 food trucks, and about 3,000 people attend. And this year, we are now doubled capacity. We have 84 vendors
Yes.
and 17 food trucks.
Yeah.
So and the 17 is on top of the 84 we have. So it's not even including them.
So let's
that's
double,
what I'm
triple
managing.
those numbers. Let's get 10,000 people out.
Oh,
And it was received
crazy.
so well.
We're expecting 6,000 to 7,000.
Yes.
And it's crazy because we are all volunteers as well.
Yeah.
We're a nonprofit under the state of Washington laws.
Love it.
We all are volunteers as well. We don't make any money from
Yes.
this personally. So it's just a passion project for most of us. And I actually met Ashley, Kevin, and the whole entire board at Pride. I was actually a volunteer.
I know. Remember,
and
you
then,
brought us a bunch of.
Bryce saved us last year. Our
Thank you.
standout volunteer who just took over and
He did
helped get
great.
everything
He
done,
was
so.
he was
He was
lovely.
great.
He
He
checked in on
checked
you.
in.
Checked in
Yeah.
on us.
Yeah.
You brought us hats.
All this free stuff.
Yeah,
that
love
was
those free
amazing.
goodies.
I hope
Yeah.
we get those
You're like,
again.
there's
I
a
hope so
bunch
too.
left.
Yeah, we still have.
I have a bunch still
I take them
too.
camping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
I mean, a little shout out. This is my friends at Fix Hot Sauce. They're
Yes.
they're
Say it again.
local.
Fix Hot Sauce.
Fix Hot Sauce. They're local. They're great. I love them, and they
Yeah.
gave us a ton of hot sauce, and everybody loved that too. So
And I see it at places.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere. At
Yeah.
this
I
point. Yeah.
thought it was funny though because everyone was like, "Are those condoms?" And I was like, "No, do
No,
not.
let's not do
Please."
that.
Please don't use that like
I was
that.
like, "This is hot sauce, sriracha." To be
Please
exact.
don't.
It was
Yeah.
while
Too
the-
excited,
the-
you will be disappointed.
It was while the sriracha pandemic was happening, basically.
That's true. So everyone was very
So
excited to get
Everyone was
some.
like happy to get some because they're like, there's no sriracha.
You're
at the
right. That
stores.
was perfect.
And they're
Not
the
only this
only ones that
flavor,
were
but
producing.
there's like
People-
3
and
flavors.
it was good.
Oh yeah, no, but I saw people with like
was
because
really
we had
good.
the little buckets on the
Yes.
tables, and they take
Just
their bag and literally
dumping
just
it.
dump all of it and walk away, and I was like,
They
okay,
dumping it.
and then go refill it.
There's
I
like
was
dumping in
"Have
the
enough."
They must have
bag.
given
Yes.
so much out because we left with boxes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
at the
no,
end we
I,
did.
I literally went over to Jill and I was like, "Do y'all want more?" And y'all were like, "Yes,
Yeah.
please."
Well, 'cause
and I
we're
was like,
thinking
"Well, I have
about-
a box," and
We're
you're
like,
like,
"No
"I
problem."
will take the box."
Yeah.
Yeah, we shared them with our booth neighbors or booth.
Our
shareable
vendors last year
peoples.
were great. I would say that for this year, it's pretty much the same people plus,
Yeah.
More.
40 more, or more than 40, 50 people. So,
And it's like super exciting. So I'm managing that this year. We have a new system laid out. Me and Ashley will hopefully tackle that and make sure that it's well executed. But yeah, I'm super excited to see how we can put all of them together in one space. Have a theme as well. Our theme this year is glow. So kind of neon, fun,
That's gonna be
throwbacks,
fun.
vintage. So yeah, it'll be
we
super.
got 2 new blow up rainbows.
You did.
Arches. So we've got 3.
That's gonna be great.
They're going to go all the way down Wetmore. It's going to be a good time. Lots of rainbow.
So yeah,
More
and it's gonna be
flags.
open too. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
2 sides of vendors.
I loved
nothing
where it
in
was
the
last
middle.
year.
I did too. But I'm excited to grow just
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
there were so many people that wanted to be a part of it. And what's cool too for this year, we're having Dykes on Bikes show up to open up our events. We have
Wow.
12 riders on
Opening.
their bikes, vroom
And they'll be
Fun.
opening our ceremony.
Opening our ceremony.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we're bringing a little bit of Seattle.
Yes.
Up north, so that makes it fun for everybody. But with Everett being the biggest city in Snohomish County, that was kind of what pulled Kevin and I, like, we need to have the biggest
yeah.
event in the county then. Like,
And
that's
we
what we're doing.
surpassed
I agree.
everybody
You guys-
else.
Listen, from the perspective of vendors, but from the perspective of community members,
I'm
just
surprised that Snohomish had a Pride before Everett.
I know. But they are doing so well.
They're
I'm
doing
so proud of
really
them.
good.
We love
They
they're
are.
doing great.
like-
Their parade is
Maybe,
great.
They're gonna be as big as us.
we'll give some grace to Everett because we are such an inclusive community. It's where people who, like, you can look however you want and be there and you're accepted, and it's more accepting than Snohomish. So maybe that's where...
Yeah. And I mean, we're
They need to
also
focus.
working, we've had a few meetings already, but a Snohomish County Pride Coalition between all of the Pride organizations within Snohomish County.
I think that's great.
So that we are able to advocate on a higher level and a higher representation of the whole entire county as one. Like, don't get me wrong, Everett Pride, we're doing as much as we can as like in Everett, the city. And I mean, we met with Mayor Cassie, have full support from her and her team. We're really connecting with like all parts of our community as much as we can and really bringing those voices to light to be heard and recognized too.
Great.
You guys are doing some things. What else?
We are.
What else do you want to accomplish though, as Everett Pride in the community, or as you're talking about how you're, you
Yeah.
know, connecting with other Pride communities?
I think we want to utilize the coalition to connect all of us in a way to potentially host maybe like a quarterly meetup where we kind of invite the community as Snohomish as a whole, maybe like
Yeah.
little pop-ups.
Exactly.
We've also discussed having a more education-based thing that we can implement with like school districts that we've been reaching out
Which
to.
we are currently working
and
on.
we're working on that.
With Everett ISD.
Yeah.
We have a partnership with them as well for educating their educators and their leaders
Oh my gosh,
on
you guys
proper
are-
language, how to communicate with their students. They're able to ask us those hard questions that you don't usually ask 14,
I love
12, 18-year-old even, like, you wouldn't want to ask them certain questions because you're supposed to be their leader.
Yeah.
With all the support, like, we get from our sponsors, it's us to utilize to give back as much as we can throughout the year. So that's something we're really working on. And then potentially, you know, in the future, hopefully for next year, it'd be really cool, but throwing in maybe a second type event in the summer.
That's cool.
Towards like the end, like a back to school type vibe is kind of in our radar. So maybe next year, maybe the year after, we're not sure yet. But that's
we're definitely looking at possibly doing it this year.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
we're hoping to team up with Everett ISD for that as well, and other community groups as well. We've done a lot of outreach this year. That has been our big focus too.
Yeah.
We talked to everybody and going.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
We see it. We see
it's good.
you.
You have the momentum now. You can just keep moving. And
so we want to be more than just a one event a year thing.
Yeah.
Like that will always be our main
It's
event.
like a wedding. It's like all of a sudden over.
I know.
It's
sad.
like one of those.
Yeah. I got to Monday the night of last year. I was like, oh, that's okay. And then I was like, let's start planning for next year. And Kevin's like, let's take a break. And I was like, okay, I'll talk to you in September. And so then like we just started back up in September. But you want to do it year round. You want to be doing stuff and doing pop-ups and things like that.
That's the thing, is like we want to be more involved in the community and community outreach and engagement and education, because that's what we are. So we've really focused a little bit more energy this year on that. We want to be a year-round organization now.
I think that's great. I think that's wonderful, because then the exposure, the visibility, the ability to have conversations in different ways, in different settings.
We want to be those go-to people, though, because there isn't that currently.
Yeah, no, like a familiar. And I think that's wonderful for our community, is having that familiar. Okay, Everett Pride, they're here. They're not just a one-day thing. They're out in our community, and we're not. Yeah.
Well, and we want to be the voice for people, like in our BIPOC community, like even our allies, like our vendors for farmers markets. So, like, we've got your back. Like, we just want to be the person that can hopefully have the voice to get the answers to something that they're searching for, and then having those connections.
We have really built up this year, even more so than we did last year, which is really great. And that's been a big heart and passion of mine, especially being in a multi-dimensional community.
Yeah, and that kind of like leads into like our next questions and what we're doing here. So we've kind of gone over the 3 pillars of sustainability, like environmental, social,
and economic.
Economical. So any sort of marginalized community is impacted greatly.
Significantly, especially.
But unfortunately, there's not very many.
By all pillars, unfortunately. There are some like really great studies out there too. It was actually the first ever year at the world stage where they've actually included LGBTQIA plus people in that into an actual number and in the study as well. I luckily have a huge heart and passion for it, but I was able to review and look at that as well. But also, even then, it's still not fully accessible because it only targets same-sex couples that register as same-sex couples in the United States, because they use the Census Bureau and NASA to be able to come up with those numbers and demographics. But it really like disproportionalizes the individuals. Other relationships like polyamorous relationships and other ones that aren't just same-sex couples as well.
Yeah. So no, it's.
But it was the first year they've ever done it, and included us and even spoken about us on the world stage, which is really incredible.
It is.
Because there are other countries and communities that still don't recognize even lesbian and gay people in their respects, but not to include the rest of my community.
Yeah. Dang. Well, congratulations that it's put out there. Like,
Finally.
I mean, it's hard stepping stones to get to that place where it's now being shouted.
And there's now there's tangible.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's happening.
But it's still showing, though, just like the same with other marginalized communities, that we also fall in that disproportionate area of being targeted because we live in primarily urban societies in areas that are close to water and have poor infrastructure because they were built over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we can't afford the beautiful high-rises that have all of the included structural elements that make it a safe building, because we aren't in that economic area that those other people are, that do live in the city. And then also with like if you don't decide to live in the city, of course, but living outside of the city, most of those are not going to come forward or vocalize because those communities aren't very like.
There's still that stigma. Like,
yeah. And I mean, I feel like Ashley can also speak on that too. But
so, well, yeah, we tried to do a little bit of research on this, Vicky and I, and we were like, there's not very much information. I mean, we learned about the Stonewall riots, which was like the
That is Pride.
That is Pride.
That
yes.
is the reason we are an organization.
And that was during like the Civil Rights Act and all of those bills that passed along the same lines. Like after that riot, it was pretty much bill was passing after bill and bill.
That's
and
the thing.
like,
It was a protest that turned into a riot. Unfortunately, most successful changes in this country have been violent first. And a lot of people don't recognize that, and there are a lot of people who are scared of that, especially people that don't want change or they're not affected by the change that's needed. And we're seeing that even today.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of going back into that sustainability side of it, and just like the queer community. When I go to events and things like that, I think the group that usually will show up is your queer friendly, like your queers will show up to support you and to buy things. And at least like when I think of you all at Recouped and like what you're making, I'm sure most of your clientele is probably a bunch of gay gardeners and like, and like that's great, right? But I like that there's a change.
Yes,
like you found a problem, like there's a waste item here, and then like how are you positively affecting every community? But I just love how much it's like popping up into the queer community, because like that's not something that's easy to like infiltrate, I feel like. So congratulations on like getting into us, but you're making a great product that I think is a change that needed to be done. And
it's interesting that the queer community is actually like the ones leading the way when it comes to sustainability as well, because we do believe that the impact we have on the earth makes a difference, and we really like band together when it comes to that and supporting businesses that also are
eco-friendly, green. Because I will say for us, we were like, Everett gay community, LGBTQIA plus community showed up for us. Like I mean, it was one day. What was it? A 6-hour event, and we did so well. Not even in the sense of making all the money, but we had the support that was beyond. Like people tearing up a little bit, people having stories for us about. Experiences of maybe their grandparents using recycling and upcycling.
A lot of good stories.
Yeah, a lot of really good stories. And then even there, actually, this is a shout out to a lady, I don't remember your name, but she's the one who got us into Snow Isle Co-op grocery store from Pride. She took our business card from our booth and took it down to their booth, and the next thing you know, a week later, we got an email. Cool. And so that's just knowing that community was supporting us, and
it's like refreshing, and
it was totally different.
Because we support our allies as well. Y'all are the
two of our board members are allies. So I mean, like when it comes to like representation on like Everett Pride's board, like we try really hard to incorporate everybody as much as we can, and we're always open up to more people joining to help like diversify that. But we want to support.
If you're passionate, you're supportive, and you're wanting that end goal that we have, then like why not be on our board or be a part? Just to be a part, or just seeing us,
or checking out our events.
Yeah, exactly. And I really do feel like that's so true. The community aspect is like the biggest thing that I'm very proud of. That my community does band together very well in support, but also the allies that support us are also vital to many things that we need to get accomplished.
Yeah. Well, we love being here for y'all.
I was going to say, I mean, it takes usually the two straights to have the gay child. That is very true. In most situations. That's kind of how I've always thought about it.
So sustainability is mainly discussed from a heteronormative perspective. Do you guys have experiences yourself or people that you know that have experienced inequities in sustainability, or just like you were saying, like what did I read somewhere on a website? I read, I think it's climate with a K.com. I have to look it up with a K. But they were just talking about, it was just a quick thing about a large percentage, like when there is natural disasters. The percentage of, I think specifically in this message was there's a really large percentage of transgendered folks that get, the most aggressively.
They're the most vulnerable.
The most vulnerable
in a natural disaster.
In a natural disaster.
Well, when it comes to that, especially, and natural disasters, they have protocols and plans in place to assess and help. Those protocols and plans are outdated when it comes to helping out and supporting. And a lot of them are led by religious groups or private sector groups that are allowed to discriminate based off of gender orientation,
they can choose who they're
or
going to help.
sex.
Thank you for opening that door.
That is like is like the most wrong thing ever.
And so back to like that Stonewall riot, when their protocol, a lot of these bars in New York were being run by like the Italian mafia. So their protocol was to go in and like start arresting people, getting the alcohol out, doing stuff. But just in this instance, they were arresting like men who had dresses on or men who were you know, too flamboyant.
And we still see that today.
Yeah,
of course.
And so that is like
you're
not. It's just like not feeling safe.
It's a
who's
fight
going to
that
help
we're
you?
working on.
Yeah, you're a person.
And I will say, when it comes to natural disasters, especially being here in the Pacific Northwest, we are open to the Cascadia induction zone, which is set to go off any moment.
Anytime.
Right.
And destroy all of these communities that are beautiful and thriving up here. And yes, the LGBTQIA plus community will sadly be disproportionately affected, but also our BIPOC community, other areas of our community as well, especially when it comes to like food insecurity as well, housing insecurity, housing stability. And it's like I said, those brand new infrastructure buildings are going up, but we can't afford those.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't make multi-million-dollar money. I work for the government and a nonprofit.
I mean, it's only been so long. I don't know how many years it's been, but like you could be fired for being gay. And in a lot of job places, if it's like a private employer, like I'm pretty sure they still can. I don't know in Washington State they can, but a lot of other areas they can't.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, the last 5
being
years.
objectified.
So like, there's so many things about, I think, the sustainable lifestyle that like the queers probably attached to and enjoy and support all that stuff. It's because it's things that we already do in our life because there are some people that might not be able to afford to do things. So like they've already been repurposing
There's already
doing
like
stuff.
a resiliency behind
exactly.
it. Like that's already a practice.
The story has been like we've been resilient to get to like the finish line, and we're going to continue to get there, like fight to get there. And these things just kind of are a part of our process because in a lot of those cases it's not necessarily handed to us.
I mean, if we're specifically talking about the queer community, so the LGBTQIA+ community, we have a 21.6% poverty rate just within our community, and we don't even represent, like, I believe that it's less than 2% of the U.S.'s like population for like openly queer people. So, and this number is based off of openly queer people. So that's not even including people that are not open about themselves or aren't able to be or don't want to share that due to discrimination or fear of reprisal. And then it's our youth as well. Our youth is like the hugest like most impacted by a lot of this as well, because we also have the highest number of homeless youth. And that just makes me like brings tears to my eyes and makes me upset, because I also don't want to talk about sustainability in like a bad aspect, but unfortunately
we can talk about it.
Most of it is a negative context to talk about, because you're talking about these numbers and it's like reading them, they're like, whoa. And that's not even everyone, because those are only the people that are open with sharing that. So that's like another thing too. That's the bad part about statistics. Everyone has to be willing to pitch in and tell them the truth, or that's like the only numbers they get. So yeah, I think it's about 120% of youth that are more likely to be homeless are LGBTQ+.
I read that too. That was kind of one of those hard things that you just it's disheartening.
Going along with like allies. So during like the George Floyd protests, I was in Seattle every day, like trying to protest. It was luckily during summer, during COVID. I had my mom come watch the kids while my husband was at work, and I was like, I'm, going down there. I have to be there. Yeah. And it's in Capitol Hill, like occupying that space. It was mostly the queer community there.
Yeah, that's where our epicenter
That's
is
where
for
all of our
Seattle.
volunteers came from. But again, so many homeless youth. So many. I would cry and cry, because I mean, one kid was probably like 15. I'm like, how is this even happening? Do you need help? Do you need food?
I mean, my family was not accepting of who I am. Me coming out as gay, and then later on coming out as non-binary as well. Not supportive, and it's really unfortunate, but I was very lucky that I was already working and was stable enough on my own, because I had a job and I was able to still balance it with school and still continue that. But I know that I met and worked with a lot of people that didn't have that, or they were kicked out of their home. I at least got to stay in my home. Was I ostracized and neglected? Very much so, but at least I still had a roof over my head, and I'm very fortunate for that, because I know a lot of people and a lot of my friends as well that have been kicked out of their home even at 13, 12 years old.
That's babies.
And,
I know.
And like they're coming into who they are, and not fully understanding it, but being told that they're wrong and they're too wrong that they have to be removed from their home. It's like that. It's a really sad thing.
It's sad to me to even think, like, because I've got 3 sons, so like if there's ever a time when one of them wants to come out, like, I would be sad to know if they even held it in because they were too scared to tell me or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, those are those types of things where it's like, no, you can live as authentically as you want.
And you also don't have to be a
hide.
part of the community, but I also believe that it's a spectrum. You're drawn on it somewhere, that it doesn't matter if you are straight or not. But it is true that, unfortunately, for my community, and I don't know, Ashley has some personal stories probably on this too, of people that she knows and grew up with, because, I mean, she's a little bit older than I am.
How rude.
I will say she's a part of the millennial generation. I am technically a part. I'm a part.
Your baby. You're the baby.
I will say I am the baby of the group.
You are.
I am a part of Gen Z, so I am very lucky.
Things have changed drastically, right? I mean, as a kid that like went to school in the early 2000s and graduated high school in the early 2000s, I do substitute teaching every once in a while because I do like everything. I see that. I literally do everything. I know.
Can you pull your resume out?
I bartend.
Is it as long as a CVS receipt is your resume?
Exactly. Real estate's my main job. So if you want to buy a house, call me.
But no, Ashley Turner Real Estate.
When I'm subbing, though, I'll like walk the halls and like all these queer kids are like holding hands, and like it's such a thing. And sometimes you just want to stop and cry because unheard of. Like it's so cool to see that like we've.
But that's here in Washington.
Right. It's not the case everywhere. So like I grew up in Southern California in what I thought was a much more liberal area, and then like now looking back at it, just seeing like how more Republican it is and stuff like that. But yeah, it's something that the West Coast is so blessed for, like how we're treated as, you know, the queer community compared to the rest of the nation.
I mean, I'm from Texas, and I'm from a small town in Texas as well. It was like, yes, people knew I was gay before I even knew I was gay.
Oh, yeah.
And
we do definitely live in a safe little bubble here.
They definitely said things, but they would never say it to my face, which is like really unfortunate, because I'd be like, I'm making these friends, they're great, and then it's like, oh, do you want to hang out? Do you want to do this? I didn't have a social life outside of school, so it was like really upsetting, because it's like that was the part that I wanted to escape, was my home life, and I wasn't able to. Because I didn't have friends that wanted to be around
be your
me.
friends.
Now I
you're an
have
adult.
amazing, beautiful friends and family.
Isn't that great how that works?
And I have like my chosen family as well.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Ashley's a part of that. She jokingly says that she's my mother, and she's like, yeah, I had you when I was 14.
I'm sorry, it's 12.
Oh, yeah,
12?
12.
Yeah, it started early.
Well, so here's the nice thing. If you're a Washingtonian, I recommend being an ally. It's easier here to be an ally.
Oh, yeah.
There's other places that need a lot of help still. I mean, reproductive rights, all the things that are happening.
Everything's being under attack.
Yeah,
we're not a sustainable country at this point in time. I think
because history keeps repeating itself as well, which is really bad.
But it's because of the leaders that are in place currently aren't.
It's all corrupt.
Are the same, one and the same,
and I even think it comes down to like, as a California native that came up to Washington, you know, I'm that transplant person. I've been here for over a decade now. And, you know, I see people from Washington now moving to, like, other states for housing costs because, again, it's too expensive to live here. But, like, I hope that they go to those new states and they're voting the way they should be voting.
Like, this shit is whack.
Yeah, like, you need to be infiltrating at whatever level, whatever state you're in. If they're not for everybody, like, then we need to seriously reconsider what's going on. Because to me, a sustainable life is a life that like treats everybody equally, and we're all protected, right?
That's
like
free
to be kind to everyone. Like
sustainability, social sustainability is definitely that part.
Yeah, you just want to
and allies
be living
to each other. Like we're all human.
It's just like it's so much work to not be an ally.
Oh, totally. I don't know how they do it.
I just hate.
It is so hateful.
Yeah.
Or they have enough ignorance that they just disproportionate. Like they just like forget everything, and they're like, I don't want to learn. I don't want to know that. And they just kind of think that like
it's none of my
ignorance is
business.
bliss.
Whatever,
And
and I'll make sure that they're all feeling good. Whatever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You don't have to be my best friend.
No.
But at least educate yourself or ask those questions to us to understand us.
Yeah, totally. It's the people who are just like so close-minded, who are just ready to shut it down.
Which I don't understand, because
like,
it's like, I'm not hurting you. I'm not
yeah,
harming you.
exactly. So it's a lot of effort.
Nothing's happening.
that.
I know I never cross paths, but sure,
literally,
whatever.
that's what makes me laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's who cares?
Yeah.
My biggest, not that who cares, meaning like it's not important to be educated, but I'm just saying, who cares? This situation.
Because you don't like it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, just
It's
let
not,
people be.
you're not doing it.
It's not affecting
you're not
you.
doing it.
Like
I mean, it might affect your family. Like your children might be a part of your community. Your brother, sister, cousin, like uncle. Like there's so many people that are.
Everyone's probably like what they always say 7 degrees, but it's probably like 2 degrees, 1 degree away from like knowing someone that's gay, even though they don't think they do.
No, oh my gosh!
Like it's I don't even know what that number is, but like you've got to know people.
So more acceptable.
And the people who are openly talking about how they aren't accepting of it, they might be enabling somebody in their life to stay quiet about it, which is harming.
It's also very upsetting.
It's very
because
harmful.
It's like,
so being
why
like, I teach my
isolate
kids
yourself?
To like vocalize when there's a problem. Like if you hear something that's being said, don't laugh and don't join the pack of you know people laughing when somebody's being hurt. All right, this is great.
Was a nice food
This
break.
is great info.
Thank you.
We're also eating.
Did you like the charcuterie? The coochie board.
The coochie,
The coochie board
is
good.
good. Coochie board.
In my house, we do call it a coochie board.
Coochie board.
It's a little bougie board.
Wasn't mine not bougie enough?
Oh, it's gorgeous. I was very impressed.
Yours has color, vibrancy. There's green.
That's your little gay
You're
part.
making fun of me
No,
right
that's
now.
your gay part came out in your coochie board.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
thank you.
You even brought more than just like some fruits.
We take it as a big
and
compliment.
meats and cheeses. You also have, well, technically, did you know that a vegetable? Did you know that?
Sorry guys, I ruffled some papers and now everyone's getting mad at me.
Did you actually know that vegetable is actually a culinary term? Those are technically not vegetables.
It is called what?
No, so it's tomatoes are fruits.
Yeah.
Oh.
Carrots are stalks. Broccoli is a flower.
Oh my gosh.
And
It's
avocados are berries.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's a culinary term. Fruit is an actual scientific name, but a vegetable is not a scientific name. It is a culinary term.
What?
But she has carrots,
a raw platter?
tomatoes.
So
She also has some
raw platter. It is
hummus,
a raw platter.
some crackers. You really pulled like
did. It's a
every
raw
aspect of a
hummus.
proper charcuterie board together.
charcuterie and crudité.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just want you to know
Honestly,
this
I
is
feel
my
like
love language.
Coochie boards
Mine too,
are
mine too, mine
basically
too.
Lunchables for adults.
It is.
And then you just add wine and it makes it better.
Ashley,
What?
Important
what?
questions?
Let's talk some important stuff.
We got important stuff.
Or
fun stuff.
What
too.
about fun stuff?
Exciting
Fun.
stuff.
So let's talk about what Everett Pride and Riku is doing together
Yeah, our partnership
nowadays.
this year.
Yeah.
We ended the 2023 Pride event with a bunch of banners.
Yes.
Some that didn't get used at our event and some that were used at our event. You know, the ones that said thank you to all of our sponsors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And y'all called me up and you said, hey, we can turn those into bags.
Yes.
So for this year's Pride coming up here, we're going to do totes and bags reusing all of our banners from last year. So you get to take home a piece of 2023 in bag form.
Yes.
Which is exciting. And then next year it'll be the 2020.
Yep.
It'll just
So
keep
limited
kind of going.
edition, one of a kind.
Because
Yeah.
and I mean we try not to put like dates
Yes.
or anything like that on our stuff so that we're able to reuse it, and we like to reuse a lot of
Most
our
of our
products.
stuff is reusable,
Which we
but
love.
these couple things we got stuck
Yeah.
Yeah,
with. So
With
it's
the
like our
sponsors'
sponsors, like they
names, yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And I mean, this year we're excited that we have a lot more sponsors. And I think almost all of, I think like about 80% of the sponsors from last year came back to sponsor us again this year,
Yay.
which was really amazing. And then y'all are now a
Yes.
Yeah,
sponsor
now
of
you're
Everett Pride as
sponsor,
well.
which we're so excited and so
One of our
proud.
community partners.
Thank you so much.
Well, when you work with a budget, like a nonprofit, so those small budgets, you learn to be really resourceful.
Yes.
And
We have to.
It,
then
when you
you're just
when you
like-
mentioned
in
it,
the
I was
end-
like, yes, let's
in
do
the-
it.
Yeah, because it's like, oh no, like with this little overhead, we managed to do all this. So
Yeah.
I mean, all those
Like-
banners were just sitting in my garage, and they would probably just
Yeah.
continue
To
every
sit-
year
yes.
to just like add more banner to until we figured out something to do with them. So I mean,
Because
turning them
we
into
definitely-
bags is the
we
best way
definitely
to do
didn't
it.
want to throw them away.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
not.
I don't want to have another waste. Like, I don't.
Absolutely.
Everett Pride tries to work really hard too on not being super wasteful, and we try to partner with. So even like our trash cans at the event that day, it's with the City of Everett's ecology department.
Oh,
So they
cool.
actually give us a certain amount of bags, and then
Yes.
we report back how many bags we actually used. So like they're tracking like even how much
That's
like
awesome.
trash and waste the queers are making
Whoa.
in the city during that day, which I think is really cool. Like,
Let's
it's-
let's get
yeah.
some numbers back and be like,
Yeah.
hey, we all recycled.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing too, is we had a compost, recycling, and trash.
Yes, that's
Correct.
perfect.
So we had 3 different bins, and we
That's
had
awesome.
them well labeled and out
I just think
there.
it's really cool that the city has that program. So they're
That's
able
awesome.
to just implement numbers,
Ish.
and she knows exactly. I said, we're probably going to be double this year. And she's like, awesome. Like, you're going to get this many more bags and things like that. So,
Which is really great. And
That
then
is really cool.
also encouraging our food vendors and food
Yes.
trucks to also utilize that
Yeah.
and properly dispose of their items and their waste as well, because we know that they're producing high amounts.
Yeah.
Pre-cycle. It's one
Pretty
of my
much.
favorite words.
Yeah, basically pre-cycling, talking to the food trucks and
Yeah.
being like, hey, before we get to the big day, there's going to be
Think about your
7,000
stuff.
people. Let's
Right.
think about what you guys are going to do as far as making sure that we are keeping as green or recycling or whatever it is. So I think that's really good to encourage that. I assume that you're getting good feedback from...
Pretty much. I mean, I haven't heard any negative feedback
good.
at
No,
all,
been
which is
good.
great. I mean, I feel like Ashley could probably speak on that a little bit more
Yeah, no, it's been good.
because she's
Good.
the one that coordinated
Coordinate the,
Yeah.
having the
coordinated with them.
conversations.
Yeah.
and we're all in good grace with everybody too.
That's
so, they're
awesome.
excited to
Yeah.
keep tracking those numbers.
I mean, she's the one that sent out all the contracts and invoices. She handles that. I just coordinate where they go and get
Yeah,
them
if
in
you
there.
hear from me, it's because I want money from you, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you guys most excited about for this year, for Pride? Or just like the accomplishment.
We
or...
are selling swag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell us more.
we have t-shirts and crew cut sweatshirts.
Yes, and we also have our enamel pens with our logo.
Yes.
They're very
and
cute.
then we are having our raffle that we still
yeah.
have currently going, and you can purchase from us by contacting us online.
Or
but
day
we
of.
will be selling them the day of as well, and then we're going to have a cutoff time. I believe it's 4 p.m.
I think so.
And announcing at 5. Like about 5:30, we'll be drawing it and announcing it on our main stage. You don't have to be at the event to win, but it's 2 Alaska airline tickets. Anywhere Alaska Airline flies, we love them. They're a great supporter and sponsor of us.
We love Alaska Airlines, and I love to go to Hawaii.
Dude, tickets from Painfield, round trip.
What?
Like, depending if you can go whenever you can go.
Yes.
Like $200 round trip.
To what?
Yeah, to Hawaii.
Wait,
We're going to Oahu
when?
now. From
Yeah.
Painfield all the time.
I actually,
Girl.
Yeah, no, I saw
flew-
tickets for like
I
$240
flew with
round
them.
trip.
You'd. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we need a
They're
really
amazing.
cool
Okay, don't tell the public
vacation.
that because that's
Okay.
for us.
Cut.
Forgot you heard that. Forget it. You didn't see it. It didn't happen.
what?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Painfield, Hawaii. It's
Oh
a
my
big
gosh,
thing.
I thought Painfield closed.
What? Have you not been there yet?
They're amazing.
I've been there
Painfield
lots of
is
times,
the sexiest airport.
Yeah, it is a great
they
I
are
have
killing
dropped
it.
many people off, but I have not actually
Oh
flown
yeah,
out
no,
of it
it's
myself.
one of my favorite ways to fly out.
out
It's
is
the best.
amazing.
I just
Okay.
flew in and out of it over the weekend. They're great.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
I thought that they stopped doing flights just recently.
No, United did.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
only
Oh.
Alaska Airlines at Painfield.
Oh,
Dang.
gee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Southwest also cut theirs.
From Bellingham. I know.
Why?
I don't know.
No,
Not enough
we're
money.
stuck.
Cuts.
We need to travel.
Yeah, travel.
Alaska is usually the go-to for up here, which
Yeah,
is great.
it is for sure.
And I mean, they fly out of like.
And they've been. This is
everywhere.
the second year that they've given us these tickets to raffle off. So the support's been
Yay,
great.
shout
Yeah.
out.
So they've been great.
That's good.
We
I
like
love,
Alaska
I
Airlines.
love
But
it.
yes, and those are only $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Only $10 a piece.
And there's only
Or-
500 total raffles.
Yeah.
We are capping it as soon as we hit our 500 number. We're not doing any more.
So your chances are 1 in 500.
That's really good.
But,
It's pretty good.
but if you do our deal,
Oh yeah, 6 tickets for $50. And honestly, I've been doing it. If you give me $100, I'll give you 12 tickets.
What?
I have some
We need to make some more recouped money.
Do you guys take bags?
maybe. Let's see.
Possibly.
But how many babs do you
Yeah.
need
How many tickets can we get?
for all of those?
We'll just hand you all of them.
Yeah.
Here's all 500.
Here you
Here's
go.
free
just
bag.
please fill them out for us.
Yes, we'll do it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good event. I'm excited. I think just
I'm
for the
also-
community to come together.
I'm excited for our performers.
Yeah, our performers.
We have such a better,
19
more
performers,
diverse.
I believe.
What?
Yeah.
From our drag queen performers, drag kings, our queer
Ooh, that'll be
community.
fun.
We have queer artists performing.
Hopefully we're close to the stage.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriters and DJs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also having a DJ and MC drag queen at our after party.
After party.
Which is my huge
after
part.
party.
We're doing a dance. Well, we got 3 after parties this year. So it's fun. So from 6 to 8, we got the Zamarama Gallery, which was Bill. We love him. They're doing a small DJ and
it's
libations, 21 plus.
Only.
Just kind of a little pre-party funk.
Okay.
And then there's an all ages at the Bayside Cafe, little pre-funk, get dinner, the best vegan food in town. It's so good. It's all fried. It's great. Go try it. And then starting around 8 p.m. until 2 a.m.,
Is
Apex
our
Kings
main-
Hall, we are hosting a glow in the
Dance
dark
party.
dance
Oh my
party.
gosh, that is
And that's our
so
main
much
event one.
caffeine
Yes,
to get through the
yeah.
day.
We will for sure.
We will get all the coffee. It'll be fine.
We're
It'll be
like-
good.
Yes.
We're hoping during that time, like, we end at 6, people can go and, like, if they want to continue to enjoy and party, they can, and go to those 2 other areas and
Yeah,
have
that's
dinner, enjoy it, have a great time while we're cleaning up and showering.
Yes.
And then going to
we
dance.
are going to meet everyone at Apex, and
it.
we're super excited. They're actually selling their tickets right now.
Yeah.
So please, if you go on Ticketmaster, you can purchase a ticket. At the door, they're going to be
It's $20 right now, and then a night of $25 at the door.
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
So you
get your
can
tickets.
pre-order your
Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah.
I actually believe that we're looking
Get a
at
babysitter if you need to. Go out
Yeah,
and
get
have
some
fun.
babysitters.
Yeah, it's a
for
great
like
night.
one night a
of
year.
fun
Come
and
on.
ever. Yeah.
I think we're also looking at giving away a few tickets at
yeah.
the event. We just haven't decided yet how many.
So maybe a lovely drag queen will grace their presence in front of you and hand you free tickets at some
Oh
point in
my
time.
gosh, that would be
So
a
you
delight.
might. But please also tip your drag queen. If you're not gonna pay it, if you're not gonna pay it at the event, at least
Yeah.
tip them so that they can make their money.
Whoa.
Supporting local artists.
Yes, you're right.
I totally forgot. I'm like really excited about the Gayest Car Show.
Oh yeah.
We decided to throw in a car show this year.
well, you
Don't ask how it happened. It just kind of happened.
Yeah,
And
we were just like, okay, why
yeah,
not?
sure, why not? Let's do it. So we got a little parking lot going. I think we're gonna have 14 or so cars.
14
so-
to 18
it-
cars.
Can I
So
put mine
fun.
into it?
Is it classic?
The one that's
Your
in the
boyfriend's?
driveway.
You're like,
Is it my
it's
Toyota
it's a
Corolla?
2000 Civic. Like,
No,
yeah.
I got well, not me, but in my garage there's a 61 Impala that's a beautiful.
I mean, that's the right words, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make it work. I'll make it
I
happen.
believe
Okay.
I was sending it to you.
We know
Oh my
some,
gosh! And we're
were
driving,
you?
I'm driving the key truck.
we know some people
and
that
I'm going to park right
run
next to
the
the
event.
Impala.
you should.
So we have a team that's running it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're looking at, because they do come from kind of all over Washington, we also want to include specifically people from Everett as well.
We're from Everett.
So that's the part. Like, we want to do about like 5 or 6 at least that are from
That's
Everett.
great.
While the
Okay.
other ones
Yeah.
will be coming from across the Washington greater area.
So we'll see how big that gets and like what the feedback is because I have a feeling I'm gonna have to double my space next year,
Which will be great.
which will be great, and we're probably gonna be adding way
good
more
problems
vehicles.
to
It's
have.
all good
Good
problems.
problems.
It's
But
exciting.
it's a good problem because I think about these type of events too, like family friendly, and then a reason for people to hang around and stay for a few hours,
Yeah.
right? Not like walk through, grab something to eat, grab a couple.
We also heard that
Things-
people wanted to be more family friendly, so we
Yes.
have like the grassy little knoll
Very
thing
good.
on Wallen and Wetmore for kids to roll down and do whatever they're gonna
Yeah.
do.
We
Yeah.
will have art
We heard you.
installations
Yes.
as well.
We listened.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're making it
We're
work.
going to have photographical
Yeah.
art installations as well. So you can really like take photos, tag us,
And be a part of it.
Yeah.
Be a part of us. Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
love
the
that.
whole
It's gonna be
point.
fun.
Really good.
It's a huge celebration. I mean, it is still a protest. We have our reasons for why we do Pride and to represent and recognize and advocate, but it's also an enjoyable event too. We want it to be an educationally fun event, as well as supporting queer businesses, allied businesses, and honestly, artists, entertainment,
Yeah.
education. So like all aspects of our world, we want involved in this,
Yeah.
and we really have tried really
And-
hard to diversify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my
You're
advice
doing
again
it.
would be if you want to be on the right side of
Right.
history and your legacy, and, 100 years from now, be an ally.
Yeah.
Go to those protests. Help support. You won't regret it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's
Totally.
great. I'm excited for
Super
this
excited.
year's.
We're also handing out an award.
For what? For singing?
So we
for
have-
impromptu singing?
Yes.
Can I please take a moment
Please.
on the stage after the drag queens?
We'll do it at like 6:30. The stage
No, it's-
might still be there. We're not sure yet. We'll figure it
I'll
out.
do that when no one's around.
Somebody
Like,
just
"You ready?"
accidentally leave the mic sitting
Right.
over by our tent.
Yeah.
I will be ready. So I'll practice.
We are planning on getting a award from the mayor selected award for the gayest car show, the gayest car selected by the mayor, and then also selected by the public. So we're hoping to get a voting going for
That's
the gayest
fun.
car.
Yeah, gayest car.
Maybe the winner will get both trophies, and that'll be epic. But we're also hoping that
That'll be fun.
It'll be fun to incorporate and
I
have
think that's
that.
a good idea.
Yeah.
We also are handing out an impact award to one of our board members. They don't know who they are yet, but we
that's
have
cool.
definitely wanted
It's
to.
Bryce.
No. No, it's only my first year.
I'm handing it to myself.
He just gets up there by himself.
Congratulations, thank you.
No, exactly. No, yeah, I really thought of it and wanted it to be something to recognize one of our board members as being the most impactful.
Oh, that's-
and just like recognize the
Recognition is
community and stuff
important.
Like that.
Yeah.
So actually, our board of directors voted and nominated like their first and second picks for who should get the award. So it's not me deciding.
Okay.
But if I do win it, I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. I'm working with someone else to look at the results and write it on them themselves, so that it's a surprise
So
to
it's
us all.
everybody.
But you should
That's
all
great.
just probably get your thank you speech
Ready.
No, exactly. That's the fun part.
Get prepared. Actually, you don't want to do it.
Ashley,
I would
you
think
got
I
it.
wasn't
Right.
expecting this at all,
You're not
but
tired,
I
I
have
would
some
be
people
up
I'd like to
there.
thank.
You're gonna have caffeine.
There's like I bring out like a big old poster board. Like let me.
Like, here's my PowerPoint. Please drop
I've
the
been waiting
screen.
for this moment.
My own music starts playing in the background. Just like
Everybody shut up.
yeah.
For a second.
Stop talking. I'm here.
I hate the spotlight, but shut up. So I
Yeah,
Bright lights.
I'm actually hoping to do that at the beginning of our ceremony, our opening ceremony, more towards the beginning, and also hopefully have it presented by either the mayor or by the chief executive of Snohomish County. So Dave
I
Summers.
want to present an award.
It could be you. I
You
think it'd be
know,
great.
actually,
Hear ye, hear ye.
You will get you a bell. You throw down the whole street, just like
she like
Dinging
runs
at
down the
everybody.
street.
I would do that.
that would be really
That
fun.
would be my moment. I just
I
feel like
mean-
you guys would be making my moment.
I mean,
and
that'd
I
be
am a
great.
whole bunch of
I
nothing.
also-
So
I mean, honestly, we can
and you
bring
can have
it
like
up.
a little scroll thing.
don't
we
do it
can
to
bring
me.
it. We can bring it up at our board meeting.
Yeah.
Actually,
How about just like as a backup? I know nothing, but
I like it.
I'd be really nervous.
No.
I gotta practice. I'm gonna start practicing.
She just
Right.
Okay.
I can't do this anymore.
I'm like, okay, and welcome to the stage. Summary coat.
Oh no, this is gonna
And
be
then
my
she's gonna,
dream
be like
come
over,
true.
she's gonna be like over there like sobbing, and then as soon as she goes on stage,
Fine.
I
ready.
am ready.
Start singing
ready.
a ballad. You're
See.
like,
Yes.
that's not your. That's not why you're here. What are you doing?
She's like, I thought I'm getting the award.
Oops, not for me.
That's so funny.
She just takes it and runs.
Yeah.
You don't know where
Outta
I take
here.
it.
I don't know. It's
I
pretty
did so
heavy.
much work.
Right.
Oh
It's
shit.
a heavy award.
I'll take it. No, I'll take it, but like you know,
She's like,
I'll accept. Well, okay.
I guess we could get back to
Let's
Our sustainability.
a more
topic.
serious. No, which is fine because we tend to do this.
How do you want to do it, Ashley?
I don't know.
What would be your guys' advice for people who want to be an ally? They just don't know how, and how they can make, I guess, sustainable.
Conscious
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah.
I mean, supporting, queer artists and queer
Mm-hmm.
people in general, but I think just like showing up and taking the time to like let that person know that they're being heard and like see
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I
Just
feel like some of my favorite allies,
Being that shoulder.
take that time to like check in on you and like just be supportive where they can be.
Be
Like
a
it could
friend.
be as easy as like you look great on Instagram and a comment. You know what I mean? Like there's so many little
Well-
things that you can do to like boost anyone's.
Yeah.
And this is cross board for anybody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like I think just supporting mostly, the queer businesses I think is like a huge one for
Well, finding out and just like, I think social media is such a huge, like, part of our society now that liking, commenting, sharing is like such a big thing, and it only takes like a couple seconds to type something nice and positive on someone's post or on their story. And you don't know the impact or difference that that's going to make.
And if you have a platform, then why not?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
I
definitely like say like those people that are like a little bit bigger, they have more of that voice or they represent something, definitely should be being more vocal about it. And those people that don't, that are just like their only followers or their friends and family, which is totally cool as well. But if you see someone in your friends or family on that are posting about it, like, hey, this is an issue that I'm very passionate about, being like, I support you on this issue, and I'm glad that you're bringing it to light because I didn't know anything about it. And
So
then
not staying silent.
yeah, and then also vocalizing like that you are supportive and that you do want to support them as well, is a big thing, because a lot of my really great friends and family were people that have commented and messaged me or met me and see me in public and were like, you look amazing and I love what you're doing. And I'm just like, thank you.
Something as simple as that.
Yeah. And now they're key
and what did it
people.
cost you?
They're key people in my life
yeah.
now. And now we know that we would do anything for each other, that we are there to support and help and guide. And like, you don't have to do all that, but I mean, I'm also from Texas, and it's as simple as a smile and how are you?
Yeah. And what it has for you, Ashley, has there been an experience where, like you're saying, just to support, or like what Bryce was just saying, someone said, oh, you know,
I think it just comes down to like practice what you preach, right? So like, what are your morals and like what do you believe in? And I know that can change over time, but not like belittling the person next to you because it might just be a little off. If that makes, like, I've had people in my life that have been negative towards me, but then have come back and apologized and been like, I'm so sorry that like that's how I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm here to support you. You know, blah 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 blah. So like, there's it can go so many different ways. But I mean, I preach kindness, be nice, help where you can help. Like it doesn't have to be something that you monetize on every time. It's just, if you need help with all of your bags being thrown in your truck, like call me, if I can come, I'll come, kind of thing. So it's just like letting people know you're readily available. Like
in a way.
That, like, what's your passion?
Yes.
How do I be readily available to help you with your passion? Without, I guess, necessarily burning myself out either, right?
Course,
so, like, everyone's got their bandwidth and what they're going to do. So,
I will say one of my favorite songs is actually called Biscuits by Casey Musgrave.
I love Casey Musgrave.
She's amazing. I love Spacey Casey. She's, like, my favorite country artist. But her whole song is about, like, not taking people down, not belittling people, and not hurting other people. But, like, literally just... like, one of the favorite things that she says is, pouring salt in my sugar won't make yours any sweeter. It's like,
I like that.
It won't. And then mind your own biscuits and life will be gravy. Like, it's more of a Southern thing.
I get it.
But it's just, it's so true. Like, if I go and piss in your yard, it's not going to make mine greener.
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that? I would rather help you or support you.
Everything is a choice. So,
totally.
Like, if you're being a piece of shit from 6 a.m. to 10
I didn't know
a.m.
we're allowed to cuss.
Oh my god! I think we can cuss.
Then you can make that choice to not be a piece of shit
You're a bad
from
person.
10:30.
You're a bad.
No, it's true,
right? Like, you don't have to just adhere to, you know, that mindset. So to me, I'm always like, if you're having a bad day, it doesn't have to be bad all day. Like I tell my kids, like, do something kind for somebody else, and that will immediately cheer you up.
Wait, would you accept this?
Very true.
Let's say someone was an asshole every day, all day.
You will not have a bad day anymore.
Yeah.
Right? But because they didn't at a time agree with your life. Would you accept that maybe they behaved differently, but maybe they never apologized? But like, let's say someone was a total jerk.
No, I think you still hold that grudge.
You still hold it?
I think so. Like, I mean, you could be nice to them because, like, at least for me, I'm like, I'm gonna be nice to anybody unless you really piss me off.
Yeah.
But I think, I think
I
like deep down, you're still hurt.
Like, I still remember.
I think people are allowed to be hurt.
Okay.
And I think that's like, and like, obviously you try to, my therapist would probably be like, push that away, like, get rid of it kind of thing.
Accept the feeling
and then move on.
I feel like also everyone's feelings are valid.
Totally.
I don't think invalidating people's feelings is wrong.
And then,
but maybe they did like change, and they changed their. I'm also a big person. It's not just what you say; it's the actions behind it. You have to put action behind it
and consistency.
And if they are, and maybe they did do something wrong to me one time, if I can see that their action and their behavior and how they talk and how they are has changed for the better, of course, I will give them that. Like, I would give them that grace.
Okay.
I wouldn't hold
that's how
it against them because maybe they forgot. Maybe they really, like, they also were, like, the person that...
Or maybe they're just making the change.
Or, yeah, like, what if their therapist was like, okay, you did it, let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
No,
you.
I get it.
And it's like they just don't want to bring it back up, or they genuinely don't remember.
Right.
I'm coming from a place of thinking about an experience in my family that actually happened not that long ago. So I'm just thinking about it from the perspective of my family, where actually just happened a couple of weekends ago, why I was asking you, Ashley, if you would accept a change of behavior. And I understand the holding the grudge, but I guess this is a little bit different because someone was outright being rude to you, whereas in maybe this situation, which I'll share, is in my family, it was like maybe not acknowledged. So in my family, I have someone who is transgender, female to male. And then I have an elder in the family who never said anything outright, nothing derogatory, but was maybe confused.
And not accepting.
And not accepting
not
or just
vocally.
not...
Doesn't understand it.
Didn't understand it, right? And then in a cultural aspect, yes, there are transgender folks, but just not in our family, I guess you would say, right? So in experience, the elder never said anything rude or outright, but never made it apparent there was accepting of this
Member of your family.
Yeah, member of my family. But then just the other day, we went to go see this elder, and my family were all there, and in the best way, the elder said, "Oh, open the window," but referred to he open the window. So it was in translation, it's like, "Oh, kaitu," which is, "Oh, brother, open the window," or "open the door." But for me,
So giving that acceptance.
it was the acceptance. It was like, it just came out, and I remember shitting my pants saying, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?"
Go you.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I hope my transgendered family member heard what just happened, because to me, it was like, did anybody else see that?
Right.
Did anybody else hear that? And for me, it was a big deal. So I guess that's where my question is like, because when I did ask my family member, like, hey, how'd you feel about that? And they were like, oh, it's all right.
Right.
Because how they've dealt with it is just like, roll it off.
Yeah, like not thinking too much into it sometimes.
Yeah. And so but for
Some
me, it was a
people
big deal.
do. Some people do
found
take
it.
a lot of things
Yeah.
like
And
very,
who
very
knows, it could have
close and
been-
personal. But
Yeah, it could have been a big, like, she was waiting for that moment, maybe? Do you think it was intentional and, like, hoping nobody would call her out on...
No. I think it was that little lady thing. It was,
Because I'm always that person that's like, if somebody I love or anybody that I know and stuff decides that they're going to be better tomorrow, but they're not going to announce it to everybody.
Yeah, I can see what
And
you're
I'm
saying.
going to just be like, okay, we'll go with that then.
I have at least found the older people in my life
Yeah.
have been nothing but like accepting, which is like weird. So a lot of
You're
people,
very lucky.
I've
Yeah.
been very like, honestly, I mean,
Because for me, and I have this
Yeah.
big thing with like family. Of,
Backstory for
me.
me.
I'm not gonna tolerate like
Yeah.
consistent.
my dad's
toxic.
one of 8. There's like 30 some odd first cousins, and I think 5 of us. It's all girls except for 3 boys, and 5 of us are gay. I think. It might be more. Anyway, we're all on the spectrum, right? And so, like, it's just a lot of women that love women in my family, and it's just always been very, like, welcoming and inviting, and I've never really had...
wonderful.
Which is great, right? And, like, so many houses don't have that.
Yes.
Like, I also, though, I wasn't scared to ever come out, but, like, I just never, like, said it. I just assumed that everyone knew, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, yes, this is what's going on kind of thing. So I've never, like, done that, but also, like, as a queer person, it's super exhausting having to come out every day to like so many different people. Like even me saying like, oh, this is my partner, like then
It's
you
a
know
statement.
it's a statement of like I'm gay.
Yeah.
So like every single day I'm constantly coming out to people, right? Like that's just how our life is, and we're getting so much better with so many people saying like this is my partner. And like straights, everyone's saying my partner, which is great. Like it's getting there, but like still,
it's universal language.
it's a universal language, but I'm still coming out. You know what I mean? Like it's so different than like. And I try now. I mean, I obviously kind of gauge where I am in the room, but like usually I'm like, this is my wife. Like my wife. And then if I feel like it's not that safe, I'll say my partner because for some reason people think I'm straight. I'm like, yes, no.
I literally was with Laura Lee. So Laura Lee's one of our board of directors members. She runs our sponsorship. Amazing. Love her to death. And she also jokes that she's my mother, but she looks like she's like 22.
That girl doesn't age.
No,
I know.
yeah. And beautiful. Love her to death. She's actually like really great friend of mine. But we were at a Engage Everett event, and I decided that, well, I got dared to have a mustache, and if you know what I look like, I do not usually have facial hair.
I didn't like the
I'm
mustache.
very feminine with my appearance, with how I am, and I mean, it's a part of being non-binary, and I enjoy being able to blend the binary spectrum of like more feminine clothing, more masculine clothing, and like mixing it up because it's how I feel most comfortable. But I dressed a little bit more masculine that day and had a mustache, and I'm still very like vocally flamboyant, and my mannerisms, how I talk, how I am, and I think that people like automatically assume and know that I'm gay, but it's funny, I had multiple people come up and be like, oh, is that your boyfriend? Or to her, and then ask me, is that my girlfriend or my wife? And I was like, no, she's like my mother. I was like, and they were just so shocked, and I was like,
That mustache did not make it that straight.
Was it a
People
fake
are
mustache
crazy.
or did you grow
No,
it?
it was real.
was
You
real.
need to show a
Just
photo
to
after
wear
this.
it?
Seen it?
no, yeah, I dared. I got dared.
He'd be like, do you want to get together? And part of me was like, no, because I don't want to look at your mustache. Like, it's so much. It looks fine. It was a lot.
my husband like dabbles with facial hair experiments too, and I'm like,
Well, it's funny because I want to get laser hair removal on my face.
Oh, that's what I want.
I really want it. It smoothens out your skin.
Oh, yeah.
Decreases redness as well. And then I have like a shadow because I have facial hair. So it gets rid of that. So then I don't have to worry about it. And I really don't like facial hair on myself. So it's just something interesting. That's like, I got dared because people know I don't like it. And they're
But you
like,
did it.
They're like, I dare you to do it.
You went kind of long.
Prove
It was
it.
like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Like 3 weeks.
Yeah, because every time I saw him, it was like bigger, and I'm like, oh my god, when's it getting cut
was
off?
more-
Like, get rid of this
It
thing.
was fuller. It was not bigger. It was just fuller.
was it the first mustache then that you've ever grown?
No, but first time like with
Like, it
these
just-
people.
yeah.
I just
and
assumed it
this
was like a
type of stuff.
Navy Top Gun type thing going on. But
That's what
Yeah,
I
that's
envision
what it looked
right
like
now.
today.
I'm
Yeah.
envisioning
Yeah.
it.
It was.
Okay.
that's exactly what it was. Very Top Gun.
But I will say I got $200 out of it. So
Congrats.
Yeah, that's
that was a part of the dare.
Who wants to
That's
dare me to
easy.
do
So
something?
maybe you should hold off on the laser.
No, I'm good. I'm
No.
good.
I just keep doing it.
I'll
every
put the
3
money
weeks.
towards laser.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry to go off
No,
that
that's
tangent,
great.
but yeah.
That's funny. Well, thank you, Ashley and Bryce, for coming to chat with us today.
Thank
We're
you
so
much
happy.
for
Thank you
having
for having
us.
us.
We're so grateful. We're so grateful to be a part of it.
Y'all
We're
are so vital too, and y'all mean
We
the
love
world
you.
to us.
Being
Y'all
vital. Yeah, I love
are
you too.
back-to-back
excited.
year vendors, now sponsors, like
We're just
great partners, and we're so grateful to have you.
And we love being a part of this growing Pride. Like we
Bigger
love it.
and better, baby.
Yes. Oh, for
Yes.
real. Like for real. I had family come from out of town last time.
Yeah.
And I was like, come again because it's gonna be bigger and better.
Yeah.
So we're so excited. So thank you so much for coming. To all of our listeners out there, somebody share how they can find you, reach out to you if they want to be a sponsor, if they want to donate, if they want to come and have fun.
So
Tell
we
us
like-
all the scoop.
We have like multiple ways to find us.
Okay.
Our best though is definitely through our social media.
Okay.
Which is Everett Pride, and then all of our
Instagram is Everett.Pride. Thank you very much, Everett,
Everett
Massachusetts.
Pride.
but
Sometimes I forget.
Yeah, no, it's
Everett.
Everett.Pride.
But if you look us up online as
You'll find
well,
us.
it will go like Everett Pride online. You'll find our Instagram, our Facebook, and our website. Our website has literally all of the contacts as well. So if you're looking for a specific board member like myself doing communications and you want to do some outreach, I got you. Something specific for Ashley as the vice president. She does a lot of work. Sponsorship as well.
I was
Treasurer.
say the best way to stay in the loop for not only the event in a couple weeks, but is to also go to our newsletter, everettpride.org/newsletter, and that will get you all ready for 2025 vendors
Yes.
and sponsorships and all the things that are coming with that. So
Because-
Yeah,
we
plan
send
ahead.
monthly updates,
do
plan ahead.
We
That's
do
good.
monthly updates of like what we're doing in the community.
And we love seeing
how
that.
we're interacting.
We love it.
And then also how you're able to interact or be
Yeah.
a part of it.
Totally.
We also do a lot of volunteer events as well. Someone that we sponsor as well as an organization we sponsor is Bunkers Arts Collective. They clean
Yes.
up Everett and
Yeah.
are actually like being the sustainable effort
Yeah.
of cleaning up and making a better ecosystem
And thank
for
you.
us.
Yes.
Got my kids running around the streets of Everett, so we want it.
Right?
Yeah. And it,
They're
and
amazing.
if it's not even just helping Everett Pride, if you want to connect with a different organization or a different group,
We-
we probably have
we
the name and
can
the
get
number
you
for that. We can
connected.
connect you. So
that is
awesome.
like my whole job is like making those connections, building those bridges.
That's so good. I mean, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
And remind everybody, tell us when, where, how, why Everett Pride? Not why. I mean, we know why.
June 15th.
June 15th.
June 15th is the day.
In Everett,
It's a Saturday.
Washington.
It's going to be on Wetmore between Wall and Hewitt.
Yes.
And what time does it start?
11 o'clock. Our vendors will be there a little bit earlier, but please, the public, please show up at 11.
Yes.
And we'll be going till 6, and then we have the after parties afterwards, so you'll see us all day.
Yay.
And please show up to Apex afterwards, 8 to 2.
That is
nice.
That's going to be awesome.
It's me 21 and up only. Sorry, the little young ones
That,
that
no,
want to dance
they get
with
a
us.
babysitter.
Yeah, please,
They can
please
dance
stay
at
home.
Pride.
They can dance at Pride,
during the
correct.
day and
Yes,
dance at Pride.
That's why we have a day event.
Yes, that is so good.
And then also,
all the adults.
Yeah.
if you are driving right now and you missed all that information, you can go to our website. You can learn more about our bags, and we'll be at Pride and more about Pride.
Yep.
That's www.recoupeddpnw.com. And your guys' website will have access to
And
it.
it will actually get you to the Recouped website. So if you
Yes.
can't even get to the Recouped website, go to everettpride.org, and at the bottom you'll see them as a sponsor, and you can click
And
onto
you
their
can click
website.
on them, and it takes them right to their website.
Yeah.
And
Go
their
order
socials.
some bags.
Order some bags.
And be at our event to purchase
Yeah, come to the event.
limited,
Come to the event.
the limited edition
Rainbow bags.
Everett
Yes.
Pride rainbow bags made by Recouped.
Oh,
There's
thank-
only
yes.
going to be how many? I believe 100.
100.
Yeah, we think 100
We
bags.
only are doing 100 bags, and they'll be released periodically throughout the
Yes.
day.
Yeah, we're excited to support. We're excited to share. Otherwise, thank you for listening to this episode of Recouped. We were your host, Vicky.
And Michelle.
And thank you so much to...
Bryce,
And Ashley.
thank you for having us.
Yes,
Yeah, thank
we're so happy to talk with you guys today. If you're local in the Seattle area, come to the Pride event in Everett. This year's Pride celebration will be held June 15th in downtown Everett. Visit www.everettpride.org for all the event details.
And also, if you'd like to hear us talk more with other community members here about sustainability, we would love a tip. We have a tip jar.
We have a tip jar. Buy us a coffee, buy us a scone. You can find the link in our show notes.
Down below.
Yeah. Otherwise, thank you again for joining us. And remember to reduce, reuse,
and
recoup. Till next time. K love you. Bye.
Bye.